Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hello everybody, Captain here, and we have a video request, and as always, you can go to assholeconsulting.com, where I, the world's only professional asshole, will give you my thoughts and advice, and it's worth it. We have the highest customer satisfaction rating of any asshole consultancy in the world. So, everybody, actually, all the other consultants really are assholes, but they put on a suit and a smile, like, hey! I work at Bain, how are you? I got great teeth. I watch Bane's gonna come sue me. There's nothing to sue, guys. Dear Cappy, I first must say I was not delusional after graduating college like some of my classmates were. I went to a school in California that doesn't require a commercial, but my 4-year degree is in useless shit. I was in too deep to change majors, so I finished and graduated. I faced some pretty steep headwinds after graduating and moved to a major metro area in eastern North Dakota. Dude, there's only one metro area in eastern North Dakota. It ain't like you being clandestine about it. So, anyway, it's Fargo. I'm guessing it could be something else, but it'd have to be Fargo. There's nothing else. There's Fargo, what was it? Williamstown, Williamsburg? No, Bismarck, that's the one in the middle, and then there's the rest. So for the last 3 years, I've been making the big bucks while my classmates are stacked like cordwood in San Francisco, surrendering significant sums of pay to live with roommates. When some of them heard that I moved to North Dakota, they were surprised. It's like I'm just here to rape the earth via the oil boom. The liberals are apparently so stupid that the Bakken formation must encompass all of the Dakotas. My problem, there's not a single woman in North Dakota that's worth dating. They all seem to have kids, smoke, drink too much, have also tattoos, sub 600 credit scores, and drive a Grand Am that has a bumper cover torn off. And a donut spare. That's perfect. Dude, that is so stereotypical. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you are right. Or a Chevy Cavalier. The Chevy Cavalier and the Pontiac Sunfire. Those were the ones where it's like, hey, HPV, syphilis, gonorrhea. I refuse to lower my standards just to get a woman. I'm open to fat girls, but those are pretty coveted in North Dakota for warmth. Oh man, you're brutal. The situation here is dire. I mean, it's like any decent gals have gone into hiding, got married, etc. I was in Golden Valley, Minnesota last week, and I was dripping like a bull elephant in musk. I was daydreaming of... Golden Valley? I was daydreaming of a hot and wholesome accountant that may or may not work at Honeywell or General Mills. She'll keep me safe, warm, and pop the occasional zit on my... Jesus, dude, Jesus. You're looking for wife material is what you're looking for. I'm pretty close to paying off my degree in useless shit. I'll make that final payment in November of this year. All right, good. There you go. I'm driving a 13-year-old car that looks good, is paid for, and I'm kicking ass in the investment department. I'm looking for a gal that's long-term relationship material. I'm not interested in mail-order brides. The idea of moving to the cities just to find a decent gal is tempting, but I have a career here. I don't think I'm ready to become a level 10 MGTOW. I don't even know if there's level. Was there 3 levels? According to the faux academias over there. What's a guy to do? Tom. Well, okay, Tom, here's the deal. North Dakota is horrible for finding women, and not just for the reasons you listed with the Grand Dams and the bumpers off of it, but as you are well aware, the oil boom has brought a ton of men in. I looked up the statistics. It's bad. I didn't know it was this bad. There's 148 men for every 100 women. That's 1.5 times as many men. And when you have that much of a mismatch, what you saw happen. I mean, women are the sought-after commodity, and they don't have to do shit. I also saw this in Wyoming and Casper, where it's kind of similar, not as skewed, but it's kind of similar to a lot of oil and coal mining. You'd see, like, this pretty ripped dude, you know, he was doing a real man's job, he's physically fit, and he'd be tugging along this sow with some other guy's kids. And I'm just like, that's like a 4 dating an 8 or an 8 dating a 2, or they just didn't match. Well, again, there's a skewed population. So the quality and caliber of women, the good ones are taken, and then whatever remains, they can still act like queen shit, and they'll probably still get it because men are thirsty. So you're in a bad environment, and you got to go find a different fishing hole. Now keep in mind though, I've lived in the Twin Cities for, gosh, darn well over 20 years now, and that was during my teens and 20s and my 30s. And you have to understand, there is no magical area. I know the girls look better in Minnesota, because North Dakota, obviously. That's just because they look better. You have to understand that pretty much since the 60s, with feminism and media and all this other we don't have to go into the details, but many trends and forces have conspired that have ruined women, and they're just not made to be marriage material. This is why men are proposing later or not at all. That's why cohabitation is on the rise. And not to mention before we got all that. So don't think I would not come to the Twin Cities. I mean, it's liberal. It's spoiled those suburbanites that encircle a very leftist hellhole center. And the entire, well, not the entire state, but the entire metro is pretty leftist and pretty liberal. It's all a bunch of, we just care for the people. Really, the women in Minnesota would rather help out a stranger than help out their own damn husband or children, because they're good socialists. That's maybe not Minnesota, but definitely the Twin Cities metro. So you're not going to what you want, and you sound like a guy who's got his shit together, you're working hard, you have your head screwed on straight, and you sound like you want to get married and fall in love. Well, yeah, your chances, statistically speaking, are going to be higher here, but is it worth giving up your career in North Dakota? Not to mention no state income taxes. Fargo is a nice place. I really like Fargo. So I cannot change statistical reality. But what I can do is provide you with a couple ideas, and there is no guarantees. But the thing is, you're going to have to admit that, especially in Fargo, the watering hole or the fishing hole is depleted of fish. And it ain't much better anywhere else. So here's the old, what I recommend that you can do to hopefully. One, go online and date. I know a lot of people don't like online dating. I know a lot of people, it is a waste of time, most of it. Women use it to garner attention from other men without having to go on dates. But at least that allows you to keep your job and do something out, try and fish in a different watering hole. The next thing I would do is consider not going all the way to the Twin Cities, but consider other towns like Morris, Minnesota, St. Cloud, Alexandria, even though my buddy Marty, he's like, I don't mind it, shit here. See if you could get a little bit out of Fargo, maybe go south into Aberdeen, South Dakota, Watertown, South Dakota. See if you can get away from that. Again, no guarantee, but you'll definitely get away from that ratio, and hopefully you'll find a nice, quiet, farm girl or something like that. What else? Online day, I took the notes here. And then, I know it sounds so gimmicky, but try church. Try something. Fargo, when I was in Fargo last time, me and Johnny Fargo hung out. And there were a lot of girls. I don't know what's going on, but there's a university there. But these girls didn't look like they're in university. But I remember being very impressed with the prettiness of the girls in Fargo. So just go out at the bars. You guys got a nice little bar scene, and just, go talk to some girls and, try some straight up approaches with them. Chat them up at the bar. The bars weren't even that loud. That's another thing I remember. Me and Johnny, we could have conversation because the bars weren't that loud. So it was a much more amicable environment to hit on girls there. So that's why, and you're gonna have to spend time on it, man. It is, even if you weren't in North Dakota, it's a part-time job finding girls. It is. I mean, if you look back at your 20s, it was a part-time job. It was. Some people, it was a freaking full-time job, and it's exasperating. It's tiring, especially if you gotta support yourself and you're paying a mortgage and all that other stuff. So you have that. Finally, though, and this is what I'd recommend to any guy in North Dakota. You should be looking for love in North Dakota. You're there to make money. That's really what it is. When I went to Wyoming, I wasn't looking for love. God almighty. And if I was ever tempted, I wasn't. Once I saw the women that was like, Jesus, is there a nuclear power plant? No? What happened? Why? You guys are there to make money. That's really what it is. The Bakken oil field, I know, it's like being in the Navy or the military or deployed. You're not there to hit on chicks in Iraq. You're there to kill the bad guys. That's what you're there. You're not there to meet the love of your life. You're there patrolling the seas and keeping an eye on China. And you're not there to find the love of your life. You're there to pull oil out of the ground. And in the case of Fargo, do whatever ancillary support systems it is for that local or that state economy. So make your money, and then maybe I would say in the meantime, travel to different towns. Ideally, you'd stay in a tax-free state like Texas and Florida, a little bit more cosmopolitan. a fair amount of women. And then hopefully you'll find some girls there. But travel, see if you can find another place you'd like to move. Maybe your company has a branch office in one of these places. But yeah, dude, I would do some online stuff, try a little bit. If you're not getting success, just double down on work, make some money, focus on your career. If you see a cute girl, ask her out, but don't just give up on it until you get to a different environment or until you have at least pay off your debts. And then maybe you can dedicate your focus and time on trying to find a girl. But it is, with 148 to 100, oh my God. Yeah, dude, you're banging your head against a brick wall. So, wish I had a silver bullet to solve your problem, but I don't. But best of luck to you anyway, and if I find some girl up there, I'll send her your way. Toodles.